Hey, family, and welcome back or welcome to my channel. Woman's Heart Podcast, your go-to destination for exploring faith, inspiration, health, personal growth. We are so excited today. We have on the show with us an amazing guest. She is what I consider a impact leader. She's driving record sales, building successful brands, and giving back to her community. And her passion shows in her story. So why don't you stay tuned, relax, and ready to get your blessing. Welcome to a Woman's Heart Podcast, a wellness podcast where we explore faith, inspiration, health, and personal growth. I'm so excited you're joining me for another empowering message because today we have the pleasure of speaking with Alexandra Rossi. Alexandra knows how to make an impact. Whether she's driving record sales, building a successful brand, or giving back to her community, her passion and expertise shines through. And as she joins us today, talking to us about her journey, her insights in marketing and leadership, and her commitment to making a difference. So think of me as your Chief Encouragement Officer, preparing you to take a deep dive into the marketing world and discover valuable tips from an expert. Welcome to the show today, Alexandra.
Thank you so much, Edna. It's a pleasure being here with you. Thank you so much for the invitation. This is your amazing podcast. So I feel very, very honored to be here.
And we're honored to have you. And thank you for sharing your time with us because we know you're busy. So let's just jump right on in. I would love for you to share from your heart who you are and what makes you get up in the morning.
Well, I am, first of all, I am a child of God. So everything that I do it thinking of giving praise to God and doing everything as if it was for Jesus. So all the work that I do, I try to do it the best I can, because it's not only for my clients, it's not only for the market, it's for my family, but especially for Jesus. What makes me get up in the morning is gratitude. I'm always happy and joyful to have another day to live under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
I have an amazing, a beautiful daughter that is my mother. And I have a beautiful dog.
Mm-hmm.
So when I wake up in the morning, I always think about what an opportunity it is to have another day to do something good with my life and for other people. I am always very, very excited that I have some talents and that I can get to use them for good. And
Yes.
I was born in Colombia. My parents are from Europe, so we're from Europe. They passed away, but I'm a single mom now. So what I like is that no matter what the circumstances are or wherever I am, because I'm an American citizen anyway, but I always try to do the best. So even if it's in my personal life, in my being a friend, being a mom, being professional, I try to do this. I try to do the best and to thrive. So that's what gets me up in the morning, is this feeling of doing something good for myself, for my family, for the world, but especially for God.
I love that. That is so good. Thank you for sharing with us who you are and what makes you get up in the morning, because that's powerful. I love that, the fact that you get up knowing and being grateful and just pretty much walking in your gift that God has given you and blessing you, and so you can bless others. So thank you for that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey and your background and your passion? So because you have this incredible entrepreneurial journey from launching marketing agency in multiple countries and to successfully launching a newspaper and finding popular lifestyle magazines. So what's the through line that connects all these diverse connections together? You have all of these different things you've done. So why don't you share your background, like where you started and how you got to where you are?
Yeah, definitely. I started marketing and advertising in Colombia, where I was born. Then I moved to Miami because Colombia was a very dangerous place to be at.
Yes.
And I was an expert, or I was very young, but I was an expert in advertising. I
Mhm.
had made a lot of nice TV commercials for Fortune 500 companies and won several awards. So I was very good at what I was doing. And I was sure I was going to get a job here because I was
Mhm.
very good. And
Right.
then my portfolio was very good. But when
Right.
I arrived here, I didn't find a job in marketing advertising. I found a company that sponsored me to get
Mhm.
my work visa, but it was a publisher.
Okay.
So I started from the bottom, just from doing whatever people didn't want to do, like translating things, doing very, very basic thing with the minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
But the good thing is I'm a very good learning. I learn I'm a very good fast learner.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
learned very fast. And a month after that, I was promoted as an editor. And a year later, I was promoted as a director. So I learned publishing from experience. I never learned how to write a press release or an article, but I learned by doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I decided I wanted to go back to my marketing career.
Mm-hmm.
So I quit. And I was just thinking, finding a job. I was young. I didn't care if I was jobless. Um, I decided to quit the job and just go and have interviews and have the time to build my portfolio and my resume. But people started calling me like, what did you quit? No, can you do some freelance for me in the meantime? I said, sure. In the meantime, while I'm finding a job, I can do
Right.
freelance for you. In a week, I had 6 clients. So
So
a
you
month
were really
later,
good at what you did, and they were like, "Well, we're going to follow her."
yeah, that's what they told me. And a month later, I opened my own company because I had a lot of clients, and
Right.
that's when I started. Once I had my company, I never looked back
Yeah.
because as an entrepreneur, you have a lot of benefits, like the flexibility, and you can get what you love, and
Yes.
you don't have someone, breathing on over your shoulder. So that's how I started
Yeah.
being an entrepreneur. My first company was like that, and it was in Miami. And I was,
Awesome.
just I consider myself a very brave person. I'm not scared of almost anything. I'm courageous, so I just say, I'm just gonna do it, and I did it.
I love
Uh,
that. Sounds like you were just like you took a leap of faith each time and it worked out. I love that. And that's how you opened up your first company.
that
You
was
you left because you knew you could do something different and people followed you and you opened up and had clients. That's the thing to open up your first business. What's interesting is it typically is people who are leaving a role are needing clients, but your client, it seemed like people followed you.
yeah, they follow me.
That is so
They
good.
follow me, but that was nice because at the end, you feel like you're working with family. You feel like, you have these connections. I make connections with my clients. So it's not that they are my clients and the provider. I like personalized service. And because I was doing that with the magazine, then we were friends, like almost friends, like or friends, very good friends. So they
Yeah.
follow me. And one of them, I remember, one of them, I sent an email to everybody. Hey, I'm leaving.
Mhm.
One of them called me and said, "No, how are you leaving?" And I barely knew this lady, and I was like,
Mm.
"Oh, I didn't know she liked me so much." So what
Right.
are you doing? I said, "I'm gonna do marketing." Oh, I want marketing. I need marketing. So after that, I knew that not only the people that I had closer relationships with,
Mhm.
they liked what I was doing, but also people that I barely knew, they also liked my work. So that's how I built my client base.
That is such a blessing. So from there, you built your first business in Miami, and then where'd you go from there? What was the next?
And then I got married,
Mhm.
and my ex-husband, I'm divorced now, but um, he saw this opportunity, and he was an investor, and he wanted to buy a newspaper that was broke.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, the owner was sick,
Okay.
and she was very sick and with the husband, and they had to sell the newspaper. It was in Spanish, but it was not making any money.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, "What do you think?" And I said, I see a big opportunity here, and we got it very, very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did, but he didn't know anything. He doesn't know anything about publishing. He's just in administration and more.
Mm-hmm.
But I got the newspaper and I completely renewed it. I changed the branding, the logo, not the name. I left the name because it was established,
Right.
but I changed the format. I completely renewed the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
and we relaunched it. And everybody was like, wow, what is this? Because I put new sections, big photos. I wrote all the content
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have people. We couldn't hire anybody anyway. And he did the sales, and it was a big hit. It was in a very wealthy community in Florida. And the sales went up. I mean, we did, I mean, I don't remember the names right now, the numbers right now, but
Right.
with the newspaper was not making any money.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to escalate the sales at some point
Mm-hmm.
that we had to expand the distribution. We could hire people,
Wow.
and our sales were like 400% in like 3 months.
Mm.
Um, in about a year, the newspaper was so successful, and we had English-speaking people literally coming into our office in
Mm-hmm.
person saying, why you don't have this newspaper in English? I have my neighbor translating this newspaper for me because everybody's talking about this newspaper. So we launched a year later a newspaper, the same version but in English.
Mm-hmm.
And the newspaper, we ourselves skyrocketed, and in the English newspaper was even more successful than the Spanish newspaper. Um, and that's the story about that newspaper. We just took an opportunity and rebranded, relaunched, and it was a very big success, that those two newspapers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Well, the newspapers were great, but I still miss my marketing part. So I still kept my company, but at the end I had to sell it because I couldn't manage both things, the
Yes,
marketing
it sounds
company
like
and the
it would
newspapers.
be a
It
lot
was
of
just
lot
too
of
much for me.
sounds like it would be a lot. I mean, because you're doing both. You're trying to like be excellent over here and be excellent over here. I bet
Yeah.
you stretched thin a little bit.
Yeah, that was, and then I had a baby, so it
Oh
was
yeah.
very difficult for me to juggle everything.
Mhm. Well,
Yeah.
wow, that's incredible. So where'd you from there now? What now? Because what led you to Reston? It's like, okay, so that was Miami. Then you went
Yeah.
and tell us the rest of the story.
The rest of the story, it tells a little bit of my personal journey here. My ex-husband got a very good job in Puerto Rico,
Mm-hmm.
making very good money, and it was his profession, and it was not publishing. So we sold the newspapers,
Mm-hmm.
and we moved to Miami with my daughter, and I kind of took a little break from working, although not completely, because I was doing freelance in Puerto Rico. People hired me to do freelance, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a company. I did founded a small company just to work for those projects.
Mm-hmm.
But that was actually for a little bit, and then we moved to Reston because he got a job here in Reston.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the same company I had in Puerto Rico doing freelance, and then I used it here to continue working. And I got very good clients here, very big clients, doing marketing, especially marketing, social media, and online marketing, branding. I got very, very good clients because, and actually, even though the company was small, they gave me good, you know, very good budget to work on with the
Right.
budget.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but then I had a baby, and I wasn't really doing everything that I wanted to do with the company. And I saw an opportunity here in Reston, because here in Reston we didn't have a community magazine
Mm-hmm.
full of fun stuff. I mean, we
Yeah.
had one, we still have the one for the Restaurant Association, which is, is what is going on in the community, but it's more like events or announcements. And we have the Community Center magazine, which is also the summer camps and everything, but we didn't have a lifestyle magazine where you can see, like the vibrant community that Reston is. And back then it was still smaller. Reston was not as big as now. And I saw this opportunity. I said, I want to launch a magazine because we don't have a magazine here where you get to see everything that is happening, and it's a lot.
Right,
So
right.
one day I say, you know what? I don't want the company was good, but I was kind of bored, and I said, I'm just gonna keep the company on the side. And I launched this magazine. And in the beginning, of course, I didn't have money to launch a company, and I was already I was a mom, and I was divorced. So I didn't have um, the, the the support that I was having while we being married. But I used my credit card, and I wrote the whole magazine. I even went to the founder of Reston, Bob Simon, and incredibly, he was able to give me to be able to be with me for an interview, which I was like, you don't even know me. And
Right.
Bob Simon was famous, and I was like, hey, I want to make a magazine. Sure. And he gave me an interview, and I was able to interview him 4 times along the way.
Excellent.
And I wrote all the content. I took all the photos. I designed the magazine, which I didn't know how to design magazines, but I purchased the software, and I was clicking around, and I did it, and it was very
Figured it
simple, but
out.
I did it.
You are a
And
go-getter, Alexandra. Just like you figured it out. You're like, I'm gonna figure
I,
this thing out.
yes, if I wanted to do something, I was going to do something. So yeah, and then I went out to sell. I have never sold an ad in my whole life because I'm the creative part. I'm creative,
Yeah.
but I went out and sold, and of course, I didn't make money, but I launched it, and it was there. And I went out and talked with all the organizations, with the Restaurant Association, with all the nonprofits, and I made affinity programs. So I said, okay, I will give you advertising if you let me be in your event. Okay, you can give me a table, a booth. Okay, I will give you advertising if you have my name in your website. So I made all these affinity programs. I talked with the Chamber of Commerce. In the second edition, I was even. I broke even. In,
Wow.
in the third edition, I made some money. And then I hired people. I hired salespersons. I had salespeople. I hired someone to distribute the magazine because I was doing it. I had to drive all around so I had this client that asked me, do you go to Herdon? And I wasn't going to Herdon, but yes, I go to Herdon. Yes. Oh, do you distribute in Vienna? Sure. So I ended up distributing the magazine in 6 communities
Wow.
and reaching 100,000 people. Not people,
So
100,000
impressive. I
with
love that.
I never say no to anything. Or do you go to Sterling? Yes, I go to Sterling. So I went out
Come on out.
went to put magazines, but I had the distribution was so wide that people found the magazine everywhere. And I also built my own website, which I had no idea how to website, but I just purchased the program, the software, and I made a very simple website.
Right.
And then I hired somebody else to do it better later on. But um, I did my own social media back then. The first year I got 10,000 followers in the first year.
Excellent.
And yeah, so the other company marketing, I still had some clients, but my main focus was the magazine. And it was very fun. I got to go I was invited to all the galas because they all wanted me to cover the galas. So I got to go to all the galas. But, I had my a table to eat, and then I got up to take photos and interview people. I met all the key people, leaders, politicians, everybody in the area because they all wanted me to talk with me or interview them or invited me to the opening. I was in the opening of the metro, the Silver Line metro station here in Reston. Was invited, and all the important people were there. It was very fun. It was very, very fun. Um, But then I worked 24/7, 365. When I wanted to take a vacation, I had to take my laptop with me. I
Mm,
didn't sleep. I was sleeping like 5 hours a day,
right.
and it was very difficult to have a balanced life. And I don't believe in living for working, much more like working for, living. I mean, I'm not gonna have my whole life focus on my work. So I had this idea about selling the magazine, and all of a sudden someone called me and said, "Do you sell your magazine?"
It just came to mind, and they're like,
Someone called me, yeah, publisher, a very established publisher,
Mhm.
and in Tyson's, and we made a deal. And I sold the magazine. I said, "Okay, I'm going back," but I didn't. The other company, I didn't. It's still open, but it was more like creative side. I
Right.
opened this company arm because I had an idea of having all the services in one place. Because as for example, me as a magazine, I had to go to one place to print my swag for events. I have to got to another place to do, I mean, everything I had to go to different places for everything that I wanted to do in marketing. So I opened this company, which is an umbrella company with all the marketing services under one roof. And that's how I have this company now.
Wow, that is, yeah, that's a journey. So you've built successful career navigating different cultures and languages from Colombia to Miami to Virginia. So I have this question. How has your multicultural background shaped your approach to marketing and communication? And what advice do you have for businesses looking to connect with a global audience?
So being a multicultural person has its advantages.
Mhm.
For example, I know how people think in Latin America. I know their priorities. I know what is relevant for them, for their lives or their families. What is that they are looking for when they are trying to make a purchase.
Yeah.
Being a daughter from I come from from a European family.
Mhm.
My mom was from Spain, my dad from Italy, my grandmother from Germany.
Mhm.
So I was born in Colombia, but in my home we were all in. My upbringing was European, basically.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I also know how some Europeans think. What are their priorities? What is that they like? I go visit my family in Europe, so I get to spend time with them, and I get to know what they think, what are their priorities, what are they looking for when they want to purchase something or make an investment. And I live in the United States. I have lived here for 28 years.
Mhm.
I'm an American citizen.
Mhm.
So I this is home for me. So I
Yeah.
know how Americans think, because honestly, I'm already thinking like an American. When I speak in English, I think in English.
Mhm.
When I go to make purchases, many times I make purchases just like American. I blend it. I blend it in the so I have everything inside of me, all
Right.
the sides inside of me. Um, Doing business, if you want to reach a business, sorry, if you have a business and you want to reach the Spanish market or another European market, the first thing you have to know is how they think, how they behave,
Mhm.
what do they look for when they're gonna make a purchase, what are the decision makers, the what the decision makers are taking in consideration to make the decision.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
and what is the most important part in their household, because in American household, for example, you have families that they make decisions based on let's say, for example, price.
Okay.
Okay. um okay, that's it's cheap and it looks good, I'm gonna buy it. But if you go to an Spanish market, um their Spanish family, they're gonna make the decisions made on family. It's good for
Okay.
my family.
Right, right.
European people, they also think about family, but that they are more they are more individual. They think it's good for me, but it's not I'm just in general, of course, many
Yeah,
people think
across the
different,
board.
but you have to get to know your market.
Mm,
I have a client that he wanted to launch a company that was going to do a global event.
mhm.
Um, the first thing that you have to do when you want to reach global audience is to hire someone that hire someone that knows what they're doing.
Mhm.
But if you don't know your audience and you don't hire someone that knows what they're doing, then you're not gonna be able to do it effectively. Um, if you hire someone that is an expert in the Spanish market, then you don't have an idea what she's doing or he's doing,
Right.
then they might fool you. You have to know.
That's true, especially if you can't speak Spanish.
Yeah, exactly.
Be confused.
I can, uh, someone comes to you and say, "Yeah, I know the Spanish market," and you have to trust them blindly.
Right.
Then the problem is they might fool you.
Mm.
So it's good that you also know a little bit. That
Yes.
you get informed, that you read a little. Now with the AI, you can just ask questions.
Mhm.
If the person comes and is not doesn't match very well that you're saying, then you can ask questions at least.
Yeah.
And also just get informed about that market and have someone that speaks the same language.
Mhm.
I remember I had a client that reached out to me and say, "I want to reach the Spanish market." Say, "Okay, but if they call you, do you have someone that is gonna answer
Right.
the phone in Spanish?" He said, "No." So you need to have someone to answer the phone in Spanish
Mhm.
because how you can communicate. So you have to have some knowledge, but hire someone that has a big background and can show you actually facts and maybe have very good reviews
Right.
and show you that they're able to do what they asking, that what you're asking them to do.
Yes.
Um, that's basically what probably you have to do if you want to reach global market.
I love that. Thank you so much, Alexandra. So, beyond your professional achievements, you also are deeply committed to giving back to your community, which I love. So, why is it so important to you to support environmental causes, animal welfare, and children in need? And how do you integrate these passions into your busy life?
I think if a business is not paying forward, then that
Mm,
business is going to be stagnant. You have to What you're receiving, you have to give. It's like water. If
mm,
water gets stagnant, it starts smelling bad.
mhm,
You have to have that part where you get a little, what you're receiving, you also, in gratitude, you give to others. As a Christian, I owe everything to God, everything, all the talents that I have, everything, my companies, the ideas that I have. I mean, everything is because He has put that in me. And a way for me to thank Him, of course, I tithe and I donate to other causes, but I want to use all the blessings that He has given me
mhm,
to bless others. Um, just to answer your question about animal welfare and everything, first of all, we are here to help other human beings.
mhm,
So
mhm.
poverty really touches my heart really hard because I was born in Colombia where you see homeless children begging for
Mm.
food. I was robbed
Yeah,
twice.
yeah.
Food. A kid one day stole um, rotisserie chicken I had in my hand. I was bringing home.
Mhm.
And I was little, and my mom said, "It's okay, leave it because he's probably starving. We can buy
Right.
another chicken, but he can't." And then when I was an adult, and a teenager, brought me a, I coming from the bakery with a knife. He robbed me a piece of bread. And I
Mhm.
said, "Just take the bread." I mean, if someone is willing to kill someone because they're hungry, I mean, that really touches my
And
heart.
they really need it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I donate part of my companies and also personally to alleviate poverty in the world. Animals, I just love animals. I'm an animal lover. I think animals are so beautiful, and it breaks my heart when people abuse them or they use them in labs for tests. or these poachers that kill rhinos. I mean, that really breaks my heart to see how some human beings really abuse animals. I think God put the animals on earth not for us to abuse them or um, torture them on a lab. You know, they test on animals. So I donate to all those causes to stop animal cruelty because I love animals. I don't even eat meat because I love animals so much. Um, and I'm not saying that eating meat is bad. I'm just saying I love animals, so that's why I donate to animals. And environmental causes, honestly, the world is just behaving very weird lately. You know, the poles, the caps are melting. You don't see, so much ice as before in the
Mm-hmm.
North
Mm-hmm.
Pole. I had a friend that went to the South Pole, and the penguins are not even in the snow anymore; they are on rocks. Um, there's the climate is getting very weird.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's natural causes. I'm not blaming the human being. Maybe we have something to do with it, but God gave us this word to take care of it. So
Right.
my
Mm-hmm.
little tiny contribution is to donate to the environment. So we get to plant more trees. We get to clean the rivers
Mm-hmm.
or the oceans that are full of plastic
Mm-hmm.
and at least take care of the world a little bit. My little tiny contribution to the world, to this
Yeah,
earth.
it's still an impact. I mean, because anything you do, and you're doing it from a community impact perspective. So as your business and you are like sowing a seed into other people, into communities as well as, nonprofits, you're helping you're helping the footprint of goodness. That's the way I see it. So you are definitely serving in the capacity where God has put you. So thank you for doing what you're doing because your business is allowing you to do that, right? And blessing others.
Thank you. Yeah, thank God I can do that. I think if one day I can't donate anymore, I will break my heart because
That's part of who you are. It sounds
that's
like it's
part of,
part of who
yeah,
you are. Yeah. So
exactly.
from running your company and writing to volunteering and spending time with your family, you have a lot you're juggling in different roles. So what is your secret to staying productive and balanced? What advice can you give the audience with everything that you're doing? You're working with making sure you contribute to nonprofits. You have a daughter, you're raising her. You have a business and it's thriving. So give us some examples or some advice for how you can, stay balanced.
I think human being, we have to be like a table. We have these four legs,
Yeah.
and if the table is not balanced, it's gonna wiggle. So I think one very important part to have is to take care of our bodies, so to
Hmm.
take care of our health. So
Absolutely.
I eat healthy. I try to eat healthy here at home too.
Hmm.
To have family time with my daughter. So
Hmm.
I really like to have quality time with her. I always schedule things to do fun with her. We go to the theater, we go to eat good to a good restaurant. We like to go out to the movies. We like to have fun, and I really try to be with her the most I can. Um, Another part is, of course, the company, the finances, they have to be stable, so I can provide for my home. And the other part is the spiritual part. So if you have, you don't, some of that four legs, are shorter than the other ones, the table is gonna wiggle. So I really try to have a good time to spend with the Lord. I go to church. I'm in four ministries in my church, so I serve.
Hmm.
Serving is very important because when you serve, you feel this joy that you're
Yeah.
serving. So I'm my spiritual life is very strong, thank God.
Hmm.
Um, is that it hasn't been like that always,
Yeah.
but the good thing is that God is always so patient,
Hmm.
and only if you ask God and you have your heart and open to receive Jesus, he's gonna make everything right in your spiritual life. You're gonna feel this joy and peace, and you're gonna feel good in that part. The finances, of course, you have to work hard because you have to work and be smart.
Right.
And but I don't believe in working 24/7, and that's why the magazine wasn't working for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it
Mm-hmm.
was good and it was fun, but it was working too much.
Right.
The health part, you need to take care of your body because we are temples of the Holy Spirit. And if you are eating unhealthy, if you're not exercising, and also not only that, but then you're not gonna have energy to work
Right. That's true.
other parts. So you need to exercise, you need to eat healthy, you need to take care of your health, and then you're gonna feel energized
Mm-hmm.
to do everything that you have to do. And family is very important too, because family, I mean, this is your family, so you need to spend
And
quality time
take care
with
of
your
them,
family,
right?
take care of your family.
I
So
love
you have to be very balanced, and don't spend more time in just one part. If I spend time with my daughter 10 hours a day, then I won't have time to work. Or if I go to the gym, like three hours, or I'm a gym rat, I will neglect over other parts of my
right.
of
But
my
you're spending too much time in one place, you won't spend enough time in the other. So you got
exactly,
to have a
exactly.
good
So
balance. I
I
love that.
really try to balance my day.
Mhm.
Not My days are not the same always. Sometimes also have flexibility as an entrepreneur. It's good because I get to do other things. Sometimes I take the day off and say, I'm gonna just relax today. I'm gonna take care of myself. But sometimes I'm full of work, so I can't do it. But I still um, take time to stop working and focus on what is really important in my personal life, which is my family, myself, go to church, read a good book, do my hobbies, which I have several hobbies, and walk my doggy or take my bike and ride my bike. So it's good to have a balanced life because I remember when I was with the magazine working so much,
Mhm.
my stress was high. I got sick all the time. I was having the flu, the cold all the time.
Mhm.
My
Mhm.
defenses went low. And that's not really what life is about,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
So it's good to have a balanced life, even if you work 9 to 5, then at 5 you go and do something fun or do something, take care of yourself and your family and your spiritual life, and having a balanced life is very important to be happy and to be healthy and to feel, peace in your heart.
I love that. So what I'm hearing you say is you have a balanced life. Like you have to balance every quadrant that you have and not be too much in one because it takes away from the other one, right? And so
Yeah.
I love that. So thank you for that great advice. That's awesome. So stay in balance, even if you're an entrepreneur, understanding the importance of staying balanced as an entrepreneur because you can work 24/7 and what you said made sense why you decided to sell the magazine so you could get a better balance in your life. And that is so critical. So with that, Alexandra, could you share your information with the audience, your website or your email or however you want to give out your information? So if someone wants to further the conversation with you and ask you questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Well, my company is called ARM Integrated Communications.
Mhm.
Is You can Google it. I have 5-star reviews. All of my reviews are 5 stars. So you can see my website is armcommu.com.
Mhm.
ARM stands for my name, Alexandra Rossi Morel, and commu is communication, so it's COMMU
Mhm.
that com. Um, and you can just reach out to me. In my website, you have contact form or an email, so you can
Mhm.
contact me.
Mhm.
And my office is here in Reston, but I can go anywhere in the DMV to meet my clients. Um, I have social media, but if you want to reach out to me, you don't need to go to my social media, which is the same, Arm Commu or Arm Communications. But I'm here, um, open to give some advice. I also give consultancy, free consultancy, it's a 20 minutes consultancy to see where your brand is and what you need to do in order to get to your goals.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just a free consultancy that I give to people. If they don't have to work with me, but I'm very happy to do it. And in my website, you can see my team. I have an amazing of talented people. You can see also case studies. You can see work that I have done or we have done as a team. And yeah, you can get a lot of information from my website. And if you want to have coffee with me, I'm very open to meet with anybody if they need any advice.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Alexandra. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. And
Thank
we just
you.
want to thank you again for taking your time, sharing your heart, your knowledge, your wisdom, your passion, and your expertise with us. You truly are
Thank
an impact leader.
Thank you so much, Edna. Likewise, you are such an
Thank
amazing leader and have such a great ideas, and your podcast is beautiful, very successful. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me here and for listening to all my story and my journey.
Yeah, we love your story and your journey. It's so inspirational. It shows that you definitely have empowerment. You just everything you've done, you pivoted. Your life is basically taking you from here to there, but you started from scratch and built it up again. Started from scratch and built it up again, and that speaks volumes of your character and who you are as a woman. So thank you again. We just
Thank you, Edna.
love it.
Thank
So
you
as
so
we
much.
wrap up, if you've enjoyed our time together, remember to share, like, and comment and subscribe to the podcast. And if you want to connect with me, you can reach me at voemetoday@gmail.com. If you want to learn more about our services and what we give and provide, you can go up on the website under voicesoфencouragement.com. And as I always like to say, until we meet again, Ephesians 4:1, walk worthy of the call for which you were called.